Brian, did you get a chance to watch Will Trent?
Have not.
Man, just hit Hulu. I saw it on there today. I don't know if it's been a day or two or not, but it's your sleuth detective type show.
Okay. Okay.
Um, no big names that I like. I nobody that I really recognize except for one person from Parenthood is on there. Erica
Okay.
Christensen. She's been in some other
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Erica Christensen. Yeah.
Yeah, but man,
Or the Julia Stiles lookalike Erica Christensen, because they always get confused with each other. So yes.
right? Yeah, it's super cool. It's a nice little take on sleuth,
Nice.
detective, super
Yes.
cop type thing,
I
solving the
got you.
murders. Definitely
Okay.
check it out, man. It was good. Also, man,
Have,
Bad Batch season 2 came out today.
I
First
have.
two episodes.
Okay, yeah, I am so binging because I need to catch up on. So Willow, I know there's Willow, there's National Treasure, there's Bad Batch. I have, and I got it since you mentioned the sleuth thing. I fell in love with Glass Onion, so I have watched it. I think at this point like 4 or 5 times. Like whenever I get them in, I just restart that. So if you've not caught the Glass Onion movie on Netflix, which is the sequel to
Mhm.
Knives Out, it is just Daniel Craig is just beautiful. I mean, he is just incredible. So if you've not caught that, you really should check it out.
Man, I tried and I fell asleep 3 times,
No,
man.
no.
I don't know if I'm missing something. I don't know what, but we'll definitely have to have that
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you for no other reason than this, and I will tell you because it's very similar to Knives Out,
Mhm.
which is this kind of a play on the sleuth that about middle of the movie. And this. I mean, there will be spoilers. I won't give you detail other than have you seen Knives Out? That's probably the best way.
Mhm.
So like like in Knives Out, they kind of jump to some to reveal a few things, but there's more stuff going on in the background. They did a lot of that in Glass Onion that actually kind of like changed kind of the flow
Hmm.
of the movie. And Janelle Monáe, her character, there's just a lot of depth that, again, I'm sorry you've fallen asleep, but you can get through it. It's really well worth it. And Edward Norton is Edward Norton. Just
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you
So
mean her
check it out.
characters?
There will be spoilers, so
There
we'll
was
leave it at
spoilers, yeah.
that. Then we'll leave it at that. Yes, sir. And
uh,
and because we're both wrestling fans, you gotta love a movie that features a wrestler, okay?
right, Dave Bautista, man. Yeah.
And I've
And the
never
head
been
wrinkles and all.
well. And if you see the scene when he hopped out of the pool, that was just a little. You know what they say about Knives Out? They were guns out, and I'm not talking about the ones on his arms. I was
Mhm.
like, wait, what? Yeah, yeah. And I googled him. He's actually older than I am, which is really depressing.
I
Which
know
is
it.
really, and all the tats are real, but this is just really depressing. I was like, oh. And of course the way I made myself feel better was I dove headfirst into a bag of Doritos, so it's all good.
Oh yeah, that works. All right.
Or the fake cheese, whatever works for you.
Yeah, Cheese Whiz. What did Cheese Whiz dip in Doritos?
Here's the deal, though. If cheese is spelled any other way than CHEES, basically, if cheese has a Z in it, it's not cheese.
All
I
right.
think that's how they legally got away with it. It's like, no, it's not. Look how it's spelled. There's no Z in cheese. Yeah.
Oh
All right,
well.
man.
With that, let's hit that music.
Let's do it.
This is the Pandemic, hosted by my dad, a podcast about catching up and nerding out.
With anyone whose awesomeness levels rival mine.
So level up your awesomeness and welcome to the Pandemic.
Welcome to the Pandemic. This is a podcast about talking to different people that I may or may not know and see where we end up all in about 30 minutes or less. I'm the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin, and today I'm talking Kaleidoscope with the new Netflix show with Brian S. Dennis. And Brian S. Apparently we have a guest. Leia, say hi.
There's a cameo.
My peanut M&Ms.
Okay, are they peanut M? Well, they're the yellow bag, so those are peanut M&Ms, not peanut butter M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the peanut butter M&Ms are the greatest are the best M&Ms.
Caramel.
No.
Caramel M&Ms are great, man.
First off, is it caramel or is it caramel? Or is it caramel?
Caramel?
Yeah.
Caramel. I don't want any honey. Caramel.
And being from the South, it's either pecan or pecans, and
Pecan.
it's pecans. If you're from the South,
Pecan,
it's only
yeah.
pecans. Yeah.
All right, kiddo. Hey, we got 30 minutes to do this. So tell Brian hi bye. Tell him bye bye.
Bye bye, Leia.
Hi, bye, bye. Hi, bye, bye.
There it is. All right. So let's talk about some kaleidoscope, my friend. Well, I still have my kaleidoscope of a Christmas tree up behind me.
What's the doing one, big boy?
Yes, man. So Kaleidoscope is a brand new show that came out on Netflix this last week.
Yep.
And it kind of prided itself on something a little bit different. 8 episodes, colored episodes, and you can watch them in any order.
Color themed.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, little trigger there, bud.
Thank you.
Bye,
And so if I read everything right, everybody's order was different.
The order was different, and you obviously can self-select your own order of watching it. So, and that's actually kind of the gimmick of it. And if you watch, like most Netflix series, they have the actual how many episodes, usually between 8 and 10. But also they may have a couple little snippets or samplers. And one of the things is actually they talk about giving you the power of the series is that they suggest you not only are the order on your Netflix is not going to be in chronological order, but it actually suggests you play with it. You watch it out of order. And just because there's hints throughout when it gets to episode White, which is the final, well, it's not the final episode chronologically. In fact, it's of the 8, I guess it would be chronologically, it would be episode 6 of the 8, but it's kind of where you get to see the whole buildup of this. And you might want to hit our scroll. There will be spoilers. Just, there will not be blood, but there will be spoilers. That this is a heist film. So 7 of the 8 episodes are about either prepping for the heist or what happens after the heist. And episode White is the actual heist episode. So and so they saved that one for the 8th episode if you want to see kind of what happens. But again, all the other things around it. It's a very interesting way of really pushing it and theming it, and very much we talked earlier this week about, hey, if you had to pick a crew, do you want to be in the Clooney version of Ocean's 11 or the heist group for Kaleidoscope, which I had not watched the entire series. Oh yeah, I'm hanging out with Clooney and the boys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Dude, what was your initial thoughts on the show? After you got, I'm assuming you did get through everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right, I've rewatched a couple episodes of some of my favorites.
Right.
So I really liked how it's got a great cast. Giancarlo Esposito, Paz Vega. You just have so many great actors and actresses in there. We got a couple for our fandoms. You got a little Captain Boomerang and a little Wee Huey in there as well. Wee Huey came strong this one though. He's gonna try and get the girl. But number one, I like the fact that they really suggested watch kind of order, kind of give you control. That it's not. One of my favorite movies is Pulp Fiction. Really like I like those shows. I like those that play with the chronological in the time space. I loved it, and for another reason, I will share what made me love it the most. Bradley, show me where you're brave. Show me where you're strong. All the ocular perspiration. All the ocular perspiration. It's really in the hospital. All the ocular perspiration, man.
Man, I'm with you, dude. That was probably one of the best shows I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, and it said that it was for mature audiences.
Yeah.
But and
that's language. There was definitely violence in a couple episodes, but that's more language. That's definitely more language.
Yeah, it was not, especially when it comes to terms of like mature and Netflix. It was not super mature. I mean, I was thinking it was gonna be a nudity and all this.
That's a good.
Good. Yeah,
There is no nudity. They do have a husband and wife couple as part of the heist crew. So as a married couple, they do things that married couples do, but they shot those scenes no worse than you see on like a primetime crime show. You know, really, but also, just a quick question for you, sir. So we have the members of the crew, and I'm curious because I think I know, but who is your favorite member of the crew?
Well, Ray or Leo, however you want to
Really?
go. I guess
thought you'd go Bob. I really thought you were going to go Bob.
I hated Bob.
Everybody hated Bob. I thought you hate him enough to love him.
Oh man,
he's a great villain. He's a great villain.
He was, and it just didn't make sense to keep him in the crew. I mean, like they should have. I will say that I hated him enough that he did a good job.
Yes. Sometimes it's hard to be a really cool villain because usually people kind of go, oh, but a cool villain.
Yeah.
But I will give you, that was the one thing I got hung up on as well. Because remember, and again, there will be spoilers, everybody in the crew serves a job, right? And they even go far as to say, due to his actions in the Diamond Heist, to set up the big heist. By the way, that tells you about the numbers we're talking about. When they did a Diamond Heist, and that was the little heist.
Yeah.
He gets shot in his hand, and in his dominant hand at that. So his ability to crack safes is definitely impaired. And they even go so far as like, you really don't serve a purpose. Like, we need your wife. Like, at that point, couldn't just tell Bob to go home?
Yeah.
Like, dude, she'll still cut you in, but you just need to go. You're just, I mean, at that, there was times with Bob, I really just wanted to call HR. Like, this is just not a healthy work environment. So there's got to be some things.
In my thoughts on Bob, if you took Bob out of the equation, there would have been no drama in the heist. Like, everything would have went by plan.
Yeah. So everything. Yeah, so again, there will be spoilers. The heist does not go as planned, and the primary
because of Bob. Because of the Diamond Heist, and he stayed around long enough. Got shot.
True. I did not. Yes, you're right.
And then FBI got on their trail. They would never have known.
Everything about that stupid butterfly diamond bracelet.
Yeah.
Both with the heist and later on, 6 months after the heist, causes so much. The ghost of Bob is always there.
The daughter, I called it, but why it was the last episode that I watched. And I kind of got a feeling that's where it was going. I'm like, oh yeah, I think
it was either the daughter or RJ. I think it had to be one of those two.
You had to love RJ.
Yeah, you had to love RJ. Again, proof again that nice guys finish last when you're a crew of killers and thieves, right? So like I was just like, oh, okay. Like I thought he was gonna finally get his come up with Bob, but no.
Nope.
No.
Didn't happen.
And that was also and actually my least favorite character actually wasn't Bob. My least favorite character was actually Judy. Because I felt like she and again, not to give too many spoilers, but the actions she takes at the end of the heist, why didn't she do those, a little earlier, like she could have either action through inaction, her problem would have been solved. So it's kind of that thing,
Yeah, I can see that. And another thing with Judy is they really didn't give her much to do. I mean, she was the chemist, and they didn't really build that up at all. Her part to play. I mean, like she's just some super brilliant chemist type person, and then they didn't really like do anything with that. And they, I mean, Huey was awesome. Stan, I guess
he'll always be wee Huey to me. Yeah,
right, yeah. But
proof again, he always gets European bullies, like but at least Carl Urban, you can kind of go, well, he means it with a little bit of love.
And it's Carl Urban too. I mean, Urban. Like you would come here, Carl, man. You can do whatever you want, buddy.
Well, maybe not.
Well, not everything, but
because again.
Yeah, right.
Okay. There's some things like I remember I saw Doom. Like, nah, we're okay. I saw Priest. No, really, we're okay. Let's stay over there. Stay over there,
Oh
Carl.
man, that good pull. Good pull.
Did you like that? Yes.
I haven't even thought about that movie because I like it was in my maybe not deleted from the brain banks, but it's pretty close.
It was back there. I just like anything that takes kind of a unique slant on vampires, and it actually had the audacity to put our boy Vision Paul Bettany out in the sunlight, and he didn't burn. I was very impressed with that. They had really good sunscreen for him in that movie.
Yeah,
so that was good to know.
It is
That was
true.
really good to know. By the way, again, all the religious connections. One thing about it, he goes from playing, a zealot to, a zealot that's hunting down the Da Vinci Code to a zealot that's hunting vampires.
Mm-hmm.
He's not typecast at all.
Nope,
not typecast at all. Not at all.
And then to AI,
who's zealotry of Tony Stark, who would say he's smarter than God. So, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kaleidoscope again covers so many great things, and again, it's again, I mean, you're like those Ocean's 11s, very slick. This was, I think, on some level what the 355 wanted to be and fell flat of, but it's very slick, very smart. But it also, again, the difference between this and maybe like an Ocean's 11, other than this is a series versus a movie, is unfortunately these people fall prey to their lesser demons versus kind of rise to the occasion, which is kind of the point of Ocean's 11. Other than, again, Leo. Leo is probably the sole good person of the crew, and even him, and he ain't that great. He's not winning Father of the Year anytime soon.
No.
But I personally, though, next time I'm trying to get past security, I know I can just grab some bees. And again, you got to give this to Bob. You got to give him this. For a guy with apparently no medical training, he knows how to give himself a tracheotomy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't kill himself.
Nope.
Just knew where to find the opening. Just the right amount of force. Give it to Bob. You know what they say. Captain Boomerang, take the wheel.
Right. They do say that. Also, Roger
if they don't, would have started it.
Just like grow through stupidity, man.
Hashtag grow through stupidity. Yes.
Man, Rufus Sewell, he's just plays a really good bad guy. Man, I mean, he's a good actor at all. I mean, I mean, he will forever be anytime I hear that name or see that face, my brain will instantly go to Dark City.
Of course.
I mean, I love that movie. That movie and The Crow are almost in this weird own category.
Yeah.
Such good movies, man. Dark City, man. I wish they'd done more. They could do more with Dark City. That'd be a really good, long, drawn out series for one of these streaming places. A Dark City. I mean, you could do so much.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of those things that, like you said, that if you just take the general premise and draw it out over a series. We talked about this multiple things. Not every storyline fits well for a movie. There's too many moving parts. There's too many actors. There's too many storylines. We talk about this with Fantastic Four a lot. Dark City would be another one. I agree with you. He was a really good bad guy. Again, the only problem was you had a member of their crew that was just a bigger a-hole.
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to hate on Roger Salas, and don't get me wrong, he was not. Especially once they do some flashback thing. Well, not even flashback. Once they give us the full backstory, then that makes more sense of where that issue between them is. But even then, like you said, Bob was just such a jerk to be a jerk, especially to I'll try now, Stan. I feel like Wee Huey better.
Huey,
you got to be Huey. Wee Huey at that, but Wee Huey and RJ specifically is just okay, all right. The way they handled Leo, and again, the things that motivate him and why he needs a crew, and that final shot of White, where one of the few times you see an authentic smile on his face. But also know he's just a tragic figure.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking at, it shows us and maybe this is without getting too into the weeds, given our time, we know how of the crew, how everyone ends up except for two, which are Judy and Stan.
Yeah.
What do you think happens to either Judy and or Stan?
Oh, that might be a good episode of Prevenge.
Sure.
But I think I think Judy leaves Stan at the end and doesn't look back because the whole time she's more for herself.
Yep.
She
And she was
swapped
looking down the road.
Mhm. She was looking in that car. She saw the money. She didn't want to share it. She was going for the payday, just like any really brilliant chemist would do.
Of course, because that great job at Fires is waiting for you now, Judy. When you've got the FBI looking for you. Yeah.
Right. And then Stan, I think he's just gonna screw up and he's gonna be back in prison.
And eat tongue tacos. Yeah.
Tongue talk. Yeah, exactly. But man, it was a really good ensemble cast.
Yes.
And they all came around. I mean, the show kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, I remember seeing it, like watching Any Order. I'm like, oh, I like those shows. The only other one I've seen the watching Any Order show, I don't know if you saw it, was a couple years ago. There was a show on CBS or Paramount Plus called Interrogation.
Have not heard of that.
Oh,
okay.
Buddy, you definitely check that. And it's one case, but it's over 25 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
and they're solving this case within 20, and it is fantastic. Right. I would say that like it's all level to Kaleidoscope. I think that with Kaleidoscope, this is almost its own new category.
Sure.
Because it is kind of like a choose your own adventure type thing, and you can pick where you want to start and where you want to end in the puzzle. But this was really good. Like if this was 2 weeks earlier, this would have been in my top TV series.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was done really, really well. My hope, and I was checking to see if there were any articles. I would love it if it won't be this group, because again, the way that the series winds up going, again, we know the fates of all but two of the members of the heist crew, and it seems like those two probably go their own way. But Eric Garcia, who's the writer of it, I would love it if he or someone else even. But I like the idea of maybe Kaleidoscope, similar to how we have like American Horror Story.
Yep.
And you have different takes on horror movies, but they all are kind of under the American Horror Story umbrella. I think it'd be cool if they came out basically like Kaleidoscope, is that every year we get a release of a story under Kaleidoscope, where again you watch it in whatever order, and it's meant to be watched non-chronologically and look for the hints and the clues. I think that because it made it fun to watch. Like once you got a couple episodes in, you really were looking for things that are going to happen, and honestly, starting out with the series where again, I believe you start with with Leo and Stan, a lot of their relationship, and that's really the focus of the first couple episodes, and then you see it build. Like you get a lot of Leo's backstory. You get a lot of Roger's backstory. You see the daughter at different ages. You see them building. You see some of the slow burn with like Stan and Judy. Then Bob comes in just like a bull in a china shop that's wrecking things up. You got to see Ava was a very sympathetic character. The scene in the cabin with her. The scene with Stan in the cabin. I mean, Stan. And you knew from the beginning, kind of my last take on this, with Stan, you knew once it really got started, because Bill had to reveal in the episode when he's in prison, he gets some news. It's not going to end well for him. You just know it's not.
Yeah.
But when you see the amount of loss that they give him in this, and Giancarlo Esposito does such a great job of conveying that.
Yeah.
Of conveying that. The scene in the hotel, and then, or the country club really, and then the scene at the cabin, both of those which have a lot of similarity, the way he plays those, and just the heartbreak and the pain, and then he gets to see little Lily. Those things, and again, I keep coming back to it with all the ocular perspiration. Show me where you're brave. Show me where you're strong. Like, yeah. And as a father with a little girl, man, I'm thinking that probably hit you in the feels.
Ooh, you ain't kidding, buddy. You ain't kidding.
Yes.
Yeah, it was also great that and I'm pretty sure that you could watch it in any order, and it did it because I know it did it for the order that I watched it in.
Sure.
Every order, like they would say something, and then when you watch the next episode, you're like, there was a nugget in the last episode.
There's always a nugget. There's always a nugget. Yes.
Right. So I mean, you could probably watch it in any order and be like,
yeah,
there was a line that was directly into this new episode. So man, so before we put a pin in this one, well, let's rate it. Let's rate it. Let's bring back the beardies.
Doing the beardies? Okay.
Let's do some beardies, man.
Okay. All right.
Let's remind people, what are the beardies if it's been a while for you.
So the beardies are how we rate things, because Brad and I both sport the manly facial hair. As you can see, there's a little bit of difference between Bradley and myself. So typically we do our beardy scales from basically 0 to 5. 5 being a straight up Chris Stapleton acoustic guitar with rain falling behind them, telling you, that you even though you want to stage, you should probably leave. Versus a 0 is like the Dustin Diamond peach fuzz on the upper lip, R.I.P. screechy voice. Cracking that one, okay? And we guess what? Every person that has any type of real facial hair, we all start out as Dustin Diamond. We all sat there with if you just had an inkling of facial hair, you would brush it till a thing fell off your lip, okay? So that's our scale. So from Dustin Diamond to Chris Stapleton, how you feeling about this one, man?
First of all, I gotta ask you one question. What is your favorite song, Brian?
Everlast, What It's Like.
All right, so here's what I got. I have Chris Stapleton singing What It's Like with Everlast and ZZ Top in the background.
What?
All acoustic. ZZ Top is doing the guitar circle 5 times during the song each.
But are they sharp dressed men?
They are sharp dressed men, except for Chris Stapleton, because he just is gonna look like a cowboy.
Yeah, I think this dude doesn't own anything other than Wranglers. I mean, that's the jeans. It's not even just jeans; these are Wranglers. Okay?
Wranglers, a jean jacket, and a cowboy hat.
Yes, sir.
And that is all we need from Chris Stapleton.
Yes.
I never want you to change, but man, this was about as perfect as a show as I could get, man. This
was really good. It was really, really good.
I mean,
really, really good. Okay.
So that was 5 beardies.
All right. I'm gonna give it 4 1/4. We always come a little lower than you, but this is this moment. This is Chris Hemsworth with the axe meeting up with Chris Evans in Wakanda as they shared that beard moment of "you stole my haircut, you stole my beard," with Groot sitting there, but Groot has now grown a mossy mustache.
Ooh, little Lord of the Ringsy.
Yes, the mustache, if you will.
The mustache.
I love it. Yes.
I like it.
Yes. While playing a banjo, the Man of Constant Sorrow from from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. So again, 4 1/4 beardies, man.
Man, I love it. All right, so you can tweet at me at Fandemic3, message me on Facebook at The Fandemic, now active on TikTok at Fandemic1. Now, Brian, where can we find you?
As always, you can find me on Facebook at Brian Stephen Dennis. Feel free to give me a like, give me a follow. We like to keep it fun, keep it light, have a good old time. And I look forward to seeing you on social media if you can.
Yes, so if you want to support the show, there's several ways to do so.
Several.
You could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Fandemic. You can find us at Patreon at patreon.com/PVOTN Fandemic. Become an episode assistant, episode producer, a prevenge producer like Stacy, or become part of the Council of Nerds starting at $5 a month. Become a monthly supporter on Anchor at anchor.fm/PVOTN. You can go to PayPal or Venmo, but you know what? Hey, I get it. Or just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. Don't forget to keep the conversation alive in the comments. I want to know what you thought about Kaleidoscope. Also, don't forget to leave a 5-star review and buy my books on Amazon, Amazon.com. Look up Stuffed Animal Night Force versus the Dream Invaders. And don't forget to level up my awesome. So, Brian, I think we've hit max levels of awesome. We like to end every episode on a positive note, sir. What do you got?
As always, thank you for joining us, whether it's for the full podcast or your favorite podcast quickie. Remember, we have buried the needle on leveling up awesome. We thank you for your time. Remember to never give up, never surrender, and Goonies, never say die.
We're all playing the same game in life, just on a different level. Thanks for catching up. You're welcome for leveling up your awesome. Live free or die empty. And if you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. Squirrel's cheeks are also their nut sacks. Have a great day.